Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert back with the TED Show. I am so excited to have this prestigious alumnus of the TED Show back on today, Jane Sanger. Did I say it right, Jane?
You did,
All
yes.
right. Jane is a filmmaker, TV show maker, writer. I mean, she's got the creative juices going like nobody's business. And so she's a joy to have on. She is dialing all the way in from the UK. So welcome back to the show, Jane. It's so exciting. I'm so excited to see you.
Thank you so much for having me back. And I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
I want people to, you're just such a joy and you have such a great story. So share a little bit of background of you for those who might be tuning in for the first time, and tell us your journey, a little bit of your journey into being involved in the entertainment TV film world.
Okay, well, I started a long time ago. At age 11, I was had my first professional role as a child actress, and I attended stage school, but also normal school at the same time. It was more like on Saturdays and Sundays, after school. And then I did all the normal things, went to uni, and then got married and had a family of 5 girls. But I was always.
Ooh, God bless you.
Which is hard work, but lovely. And in between, I was always teaching drama and part-time. And about 8 years ago, I decided I wanted to be a film director. It's a little bit crazy, but it was always.
Why directing? Why directing? Why was that attractive to you? Obviously, coming from an actor's perspective, I believe adds to the whole directing thing, but why directing?
I think it's because the director's in charge of the whole vision, really. The acting, the look of the film, every part of it. So it's a kind of, I suppose, it's a kind of bossy role, isn't it? But it's also very, you're very creative in those kind of roles, and I do like all sorts of things, not one kind of thing. And I don't think I left it too late. I don't think I could be an actor, but I did know things from the actor's perspective, having been there. Yeah.
I think that gives you a great perspective. It's like any job. If you move on up in a company or move to a different role, your prior role makes a big difference in how you approach your new role. And I think that you would be, I would imagine you'd be an actor's dream, having a director who understands their perspective.
Well, they do say that directors come from all sorts of places. So they can be, like the director of photography first, and then they go, to be a director, or they can be an editor even, like seeing the whole thing put together. Then they become a director. So they call them actors directors, which I guess is what I am, Yeah,
all right. So tell us a little bit about Lumino Films. That is your film company. Tell us about your journey there, because you actually have directed or written, and you've done a whole bunch of stuff. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I have. I've started off doing short films, as most people do. I've won I'm very lucky. I've won quite a lot of awards, 24 awards for my short films. I've shown at Cannes and all across America, actually, and, and Europe. So it sort of spurred me on, because kind of short films are like a practice, for a feature film. I made my first feature last year, and I had, I don't know if you've heard of them, but Toya Wilcox, she was a big a pop star and actress in England, and another English actress called Sophie Ward, who's been in American things, but they're quite high profile actors. So that was great. And then
That's amazing. What was that like? Was it intimidating as a director, or did you just set the stage that I'm the director?
Well, I'm not so kind of I don't know, arrogantly big-headed like that, but they were so pleasant, they were so nice and so helpful, and they haven't got big egos, so that was probably a help. So we just met on a normal kind of level, really. Yeah.
So why TV? Let's talk about the Nightriders. Give us a little background on how you kind of got into that, and then let's talk about the Nightriders, the show itself. I'm just fascinated by all of it.
Well, this is a bit of a long story because I have been writing and, you know, sort of researching the Nightriders, which is a period drama, for a lot of years, because writing does take a lot of years. You know, maybe some people can write quicker, but I go over and over it. And I had a very lucky period, and I know some people have not been so lucky in the COVID, you know, lockdown. I've got a husband who luckily support me because I didn't earn any money for 6 months, but I've got a lovely house and garden, so I could kind of relax and write, and that was amazing. So I kind of finished the Nightriders. Now, the reason that you asked for television is because, well, a feature film's great, but it's 1.5 hours to 2 hours. But when you get a TV series, you get 6, 8, 10 hours of creation. And to me, that's wonderful, you know?
So why this project, though? Why a period piece? What was attractive to you for that?
Well, I originally did history of art at uni, and I've always been interested in history. Obviously, there's a lot of drama in historical facts, and I searched for this particular story, reading across a lot of different stories. I've just found another one, actually, but it's reading all these sort of little bits on the internet and newspapers and stuff, and you suddenly think, oh, that sounds good, and then you research it more. So it was kind of just a chance thing, really. And
I love period pieces. I love history, and there's so much cool stuff that comes up. What's the premise of the Nightriders?
Well, the Nightriders is set in 1714. So in England, George I was just coming to the throne, and he didn't speak any English. He was German. And it's a story about, which is a little known story, really. I feel it, I mean, when you start researching it, lots of people have written books, and there's other kind of smaller films, but it's a story about the sultans of Morocco, and they were terrible slave traders, and they took a lot of white people, which people don't know about. So they took black Africans to make a kind of this strong army to guard the sultan, and then they took a lot of people from southern Europe, you know, like France, Italy, Spain, and then southern England, and eventually they went over to America, and the Americans actually freed us all in the end, because no slaves ever escaped from these awful places. And the Sultan used them, the men, strong men, he used for building his palace, because he had an obsession with Louis XIV of France, whose Versailles was the biggest palace in the world, and he wanted his to be bigger. So it was in Meknes, and and then he was a terrible womanizer, and he had a huge harem of 1,000 women, and he was always looking for the new, the rare, the exotic, and he particularly, because they were very rare in those days, redheads, and they came a lot from southern Ireland, southern Wales, and the West Country. So he sent his pirates there, and he paid a very big price for those women, beautiful women. And he, so obviously the pirates were going to go there because they got a lot of, you know, they got a lot of reward for bringing these women back to him. And it's a story mixed in with a more humane, you know, more sort of human story about a young squire's daughter who, one stormy night, she disappears. She's got beautiful long red hair. So we immediately think, you know, she's been taken by the pirates. You see a pirate come up the cliff, and he's possibly about to take her. That's what I'm putting in the teaser, and then you'll have to watch the series. We hope to see what happens.
So is the series? So how far along in the process are you with the series? Is the series completely? Have you shot anything yet? Talk a little bit about the Indiegogo.
No, we're trying to raise development money, and people who are not in the film world might not realize what that is, but you need to sort of have quite for a TV series, particularly more than film, you need to have quite a sort of presentation ready to show the broadcasters and the streamers. You have a lot of a special presentation book, maybe a teaser, you know, just to show what, you know, proof of concept. And you have to have your budget done by a, you know, a line producer, and you maybe do a really fancy poster, which is all the things we're doing in order to impress people, I hope. So we are now at the stage we're doing this teaser. It has to be really high end because period drama is a little bit more expensive than,
Oh, because of the costumes, right?
Yeah, really expensive. I mean, one costume is like £2,500, so that maybe $3,000 can be. If you make it, like perhaps more of the Amdram kind of look, it doesn't kind of transport well onto film, so
Right.
you need to have that top class kind of look. That's what I'm going for anyway. That's what I'm
So
going
what is it like the old-fashioned miniseries the US used to do, or are you planning to have the Nightriders as a ongoing actual series, like a regular series?
Well, it would be marvelous. The first series is 8 episodes, but it has got legs in the fact I'm starting in 1714, and the Americans freed everybody and stopped all this kind of slavery in 1815. My first series is 1714 to 20. So I'm hoping if everyone likes it, we can keep going with the same families. It's got a lot of women-centric characters actually running through. Women-centric stories and women characters. They had to rail against, certain societal and, anti kind of women things in that age. Like they didn't choose their own husband, or their father told them who to marry, and all those kind of things.
Totally different world you're capturing there.
Different world, and they couldn't go to university, they couldn't learn in the same way. They couldn't be a doctor, for instance. And I've got all these 5 different women who have a story that's interwoven into the one story, about their sort of journey. Yeah.
So what can people do if they want to support you, want to learn more? You have an Indiegogo. Explain to people what that is, because I think people sort of have an idea. America, it's incredibly GoFundMe oriented. Here, Indiegogo was actually one of the first starters of that whole raising private equity amongst people. So tell us a little bit about what the process would be if somebody wants to get involved.
So it's very easy. I have found that, quite a few people have never done a crowdfund before, but it's not a difficult thing. So you just press on my link or anyone's link, and it brings you to a page. Then down the side, you have different perks. So perks are a little bit like a reward for you put in $5 or £5 and you get something, and then you put in, varying amounts and you get a reward for doing that. So it's a kind of incentive for you to donate. So the kind of things we've got are promotions, like maybe you've got a show, or you've got, your a show reel if you're an actor, or maybe you just want to show off some photo of your family or something, and we'll promote you. I've got reach about 60,000 on social media.
Amazing.
And we'll do that. Or you can have things like a lucky dip, which could be any kind of prize. It could be a hamper of beauty or food. We've got different hampers. Now these are the ones that might appeal to people, because I have got somebody coming over from America, because it's all being shot in UK at the moment. One member of the family is going to be a pirate extra, and one is going to be a villager extra. So there are extras, for sort of like as a perk. So it's not that you're buying a part, it's that you're giving a donation, and then as your reward, you get that role. So we have pirates, villagers, the Imperial Guard, and some slave girls. Those are our extras. And we still have a few left. I think we've only got one villager left. But
that's fascinating, because you can help us make a series a reality, and as part of that investment, which is basically what it is, investment's not the right word, but donation, I forget what the new crowdfunding term is, but to helping it come to life, there are perks depending on the level of how much you want it to come to life. I love the whole concept of that, especially when it comes to the arts. There's so many creative ways, because people want to donate to the arts and then they don't exactly know how. And so this kind of stuff is so awesome. When do you think you'll hit the airwaves? What's your long-term goal on this?
Okay, so we're going to film the teaser straight away. That's if we hit the target, because you have a target in a crowdfund. Ours is 10,000. You can go higher than the 10,000. You can't go lower because you lose everyone's pledges. You lose, but I think we will hit it. So we really would be so grateful if anyone could support us and get us to our target. We're very close.
I love that. You're close. That's good.
Yes, we are. We are very close. 90% or 91%. Yeah.
What a blessing. I love to hear that. I didn't know you were that far along. That's awesome. Where do people go? Do they go to the website luminofilms.co.uk or do they go somewhere else?
They can go there because I have got, if people want to pay by PayPal, because you can't pay on Indiegogo by PayPal, they can go to my website, which is luminofilms.co.uk. But the Indiegogo is, you just look up IGME, which stands for Indiegogo, IGME Nightriders TV. And that will bring you to my page. And there you can get the perks, which you can't get if you go to my website, just kind of straight donations, which, you know, is very welcome as well. And some people do.
Absolutely, people. We would never say no to money.
No.
Well, because I think so many people love the arts. And during the pandemic, which I want to ask you kind of as our last question, people have, especially people who haven't been furloughed, let go, they're all looking for ways to give back, but because there were no performances or fundraisers or galas, people weren't really sure what to do to give back to the arts community. And this is a fantastic way for all of you who said, God, I just want to help them do something. Well, here's them doing something, and that is Jane Sanger with the Nightriders. Tell me about, go ahead.
I just want to say that it's not me you're giving the money to, it's the whole project, and it supports a large number of people getting jobs who have missed out on jobs for 6 months. So it's kind of reactivating, as you're saying, Ted, you know, reactivating the arts, you know, the life in the arts, and people really appreciate it. So I think there's, you know, 20 plus people on this teaser. And if it becomes a series, my long-term goal, as soon as possible, we're doing this, we're shooting the teaser on the 18th, 19th of October, and then again in March, because our dreadful weather we have in England. And we haven't got your nice Florida weather. But,
no, it's gorgeous out today. I hate to tell you.
Lucky you. Yeah, then we would put it straight to commissioners, and we'd hope to get the series done, you know, God willing, that as soon as possible. Yeah.
So tell me as a kind of a last question, and then I'll have you reiterate how people get in touch. You have obviously been dealing with the pandemic, and so a lot of people in the arts have had to shift and pivot. How did you manage? I know you had your husband, but you still had to be creative. You had to think of ways to get done what you needed to get done in a new world of nobody meeting or people not having as much access to meeting space. How did you stay sane? How did you pivot? How did you stay creative?
Well, I wrote a lot of stuff, and I'm always bubbling with ideas. And I did have another idea that if it had continued, I don't know if you've heard of or know, as a famous playwright called Alan Bennett here. And he did this thing called Talking Heads, which they released on the BBC. That was his original idea. And it was one person at a time, one character. So obviously you've just got the cameraman, the lights, the director, and the actor. So it was doable. And I thought, I'm going to make up this murder mystery with Talking Heads, you know, one person at a time telling their story, but it has a murder.
Love it.
Kind of woven into it. But I haven't quite finished that because, you know, we got out of lockdown and Nightriders took over. But I will finish that. Yeah.
Staying creative is so important. It's just people had to figure out how to pivot. All right. So tell them one more time before we head out, Jane, the best way for them to reach out and get involved in the Nightriders or anything you're doing for that matter.
Thank you so much. So you could go to luminofilms.co.uk, www.luminofilms.co.uk/Nightriders TV, and that will tell you how you can donate. It does have also a link on there because it is a funny link to kind of speak out and remember for Indiegogo on there, on that same page, but it is Indiegogo. It's me at Nightriders TV, but whether people remember that one is it's a bit.
Well, go to what you want. You can always reach out to me, or you can reach out to Jane. Jane, I'm so excited to have you back on the show. Thank you. We want to get behind you. We want to see the Nightriders come to the TV everywhere. So thank you for being creative and sharing. I love it. Anytime you want to come back on, you are always welcome. Thank
you so much. Thank you.
All right. Jane Sanger, guys, the Nightriders. Go to luminofilms.co.uk. All right. Y'all have a good one. We'll be back soon. Thank you, Jane, so much.
Thank you.